testing.
He doesn't love me!
I told you guys last time that I would catch another one of her stims at the beginning of the video,
Why?
so there you go.
Why? Why?
Hello, I am once again here with my wife. Say hello.
Hi!
So these clips that I'm showing here are older. They're years old at this point. And I have gotten a lot better after reviewing some of this footage. I haven't looked at 100% of what we're going to show you, but I've edited a little bit, and wow, have I gotten a lot better. So definitely spice this up by adding some of our very hilarious and intriguing commentary. So in this video I'm using a dex build. I believe it's 18 strength, 80 dex at meta level 138. Meta level in this game tends to be 125 to 140, so a little bit under 140. So baby, do you want to tell them what that stim was about? Why you were claiming I didn't love you?
Because I want a snack, and you won't have a snack with me, so obviously you don't love me.
Yes, we are recording this right before bed. I keep in mind, I didn't say she couldn't have a snack. I just said
yes, you did. Yes, you did.
I said I'm not gonna have a snack.
When you said that you didn't want to have a snack, you told me that I couldn't have a snack and that you didn't love me.
Oh, I don't think I said either of those things. I think I just said I don't want a snack. But you are free to go grab a snack.
You know that that's not how it works. Girl math, okay? That's not how it works.
So I heard a new Fromsoft game was coming out, and I have been playing these games since Demon's Souls. I think I played around the second year Demon's Souls came out. So I've been playing the Fromsoft games, Souls-like, whatever you want to call them, for a long time. Been with it since pretty much the beginning. And I would just like to talk about things I would like to see in the new game from the PvP side. I have a lot of opinions on what I'd like to see in the PvE too, but there's definitely things that I'd like to see added or changes to the PvP.
Obviously in the PvE, it would be a flower counter, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, for you, they gotta turn it into a collectathon.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There you go. See, perfect.
Turn this into Spyro the Dragon. Just how many gems did you get? You know?
I enjoyed that game quite a lot as a child.
Yeah,
so.
that's actually one of my favorite games too.
Yeah.
I'd probably put that in top. That'll probably make it to the top 20 or 30 favorite games of all time.
Yeah.
Spyro 1, 2, and 3. All those really, really amazing. So in my relatively expert opinion, being how many of the thousands of hours I have in these games collectively, I think the biggest problem with the PvP is the ability to run away at any time. Both, run away long term, like sprint away from your opponents is an issue, but also just being able to constantly roll away and not be pressured. So I'm not super big into fighting games, although I think the PvP of this game has a lot of similarities to fighting games. And something in Street Fighter 2 that they have that a lot of new players don't like, but a lot of veteran players will realize is necessary, is a grab. So you aren't just perfectly safe blocking. So the grab allows you to break through the block, and now you have to think at all times, okay, I'm not just perfectly safe. So I said in a previous video, yeah, really integrate using warming stones, save some flasks. Yeah, this is a bit of a long invasion, dealing with some, an annoying 3v1 here. How do you feel about the people I've invaded here?
I feel like they've been running a lot.
Yeah.
It's a little boring, not gonna lie. I did like when you missed the parry and then the Virgin Reaper came and really fucked you up. That was very entertaining. But this fight is mostly, just a lot of running around, not necessarily fighting, kind of leading you to certain spots where they know they would have an advantage, which is okay, I guess. I just, I don't like that playstyle.
Yeah, I think that the leading, is something that makes the game unique, but that does go into the problem that this has. Like, his phantoms are now dead, and now he's going to resummon. And he's going to be able to do that because he can just get away. So like Street Fighter, I think this game needs a grab element. So that's actually part of the reason you'll see in like all my videos, even in these old clips, I use a lot of fan daggers. And they're not amazing. They're good for finishing off opponents. You'll definitely see at least one example of that in, I don't know, in this clip, but somewhere in this video. I remember while I was doing some light editing that I saw that. But I also use it to apply pressure, because even though it doesn't do a lot of damage, there's a psychological element of, okay, I can't just constantly run away, because he's pinging me for a little bit of damage here and there.
Baby, what's a bozo?
Bozo is a famous clown.
Why did you call him a bozo?
I just saw him, during the editing, I saw one of his phantoms fell, and, after he summoned him, so I thought that was very funny.
Dumbass.
He sure is, and now they're all dead. Come
on. Why would you say that?
These clips are a few years old, they could be dead in real life.
No.
So fan daggers, I use them a lot to apply pressure, and I remember in Dark Souls 3, something I used a lot was Fire Surge, and again, not a lot of people liked it, but they didn't like it because they felt too safe just being able to constantly roll away. And the constant rolling away and dodging was a much bigger problem in Dark Souls 3 than it is in Elden Ring. So they did fix the issue a little bit, it's just not enough. But like noobs not liking grabs in Street Fighter 2, they just want to feel safe. But it's not good for the health of the game. It's not good for for PvP, because you shouldn't be able to just run away at all times. Part of the excitement is there should be a constant pressure put on you, and there needs to be something added to the PvP to the next game that allows you to add constant pressure. So I know something that I'm always thinking about whenever I
snacks. I'm thinking about snacks.
That's what she's always thinking about, at least right now. But something I'm always thinking about when I am thinking, oh, do I want to use this weapon, is does it have a chase down? Because again, the constant running away. So a chase down is like when your opponent has decided, okay, for right now, whether that be for the next minute or just the next 2 seconds while I regain my stamina or maybe drink from my flask, I'm not going to try to attack. I'm going to try to flee. So at those times, whenever I have a weapon, I think, okay, I need something to deal with that situation, because that's like the situation you're dealing with most of the time. Katanas are great for that, spears are great for that, and I know with a lot of weapons, I'll either make the choice to not use it, or I'll have to think of a secondary weapon I can swap to at any time, or a spell or something that can deal with that when they make that decision of, okay, I'm not going to engage right now, I'm going to run away. So it'd be nice if there was something on a more mechanical level, just not a property of a weapon, like a weapon or a spell that has a chase down, but something that allows you to at any time be able to apply pressure and not just allow them to just flee on a whim. So just an idea, not to say that this is exactly what I would want them to do, but maybe a spell that everyone has access to, and maybe they could have variations of this spell, maybe some for int, some for faith, but a classification of a spell that just, if you're not being hit or being pressured for a few seconds, like let's say you can hold down a button, and after maybe a second, maybe even a second and a half, it starts to tick down your opponent's HP. And now they have to go, okay, they're ticking down my HP, now I have to engage with them, or I have to make the decision, do I continue fleeing? Now it's a little bit of a checks and balances, like, okay, is it worth it taking this little bit of tick damage I'm now taking to not engage, to get off that heal, to recharge my stamina, or now am I forced to, because I'm, ticking a lot, not a lot, but just maybe like 10 HP a second. Okay, now it's like, okay, now this is something I really got to think about, now I have to maybe try to engage to stop this tax, essentially, from keep going.
It's actually a really good idea. You know what I would like? Wider hips and bigger tits. Because, like, honestly, the character is plump, but, like, it's not really my body, figure. And I would like my character to be more similar to my body figure, and I definitely have wider hips and bigger tits, so I think that would be a good idea to incorporate as well.
I'm going to assume my wife is talking about in the game, the character creator.
Yeah. What else would I be talking about?
Because you're perfect the way you are.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I know that.
But yeah, I agree with that. I think the issue with that, I just want to make it clear. I agree. I think that there definitely should be. I loved Baldur's Gate 3 character.
That's the one that you can have a big dick.
Well, I don't think they allowed you to change the size of the dick, but they gave you more than one option, like circumcised, uncircumcised. I think they gave you like 6 options of genital, preference. I don't think they can control size, but I think maybe the issue that they want to get away from with that is they just to play devil's advocate, because again, I agree with you. But they would be worried that every single person would just slide that slider all the way to max. I think even Baldur's Gate 3...
What's the issue with that?
No, I agree.
That and some good jiggle physics, we'd be golden. It would be perfect.
Yeah. I don't disagree, but I think they're going for like more of a gritty realism. I don't think they want to have too much of a sexual element to these games.
I'm sorry. How much real are my jiggle physics?
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's real life.
But you said they want to go to realism,
oh yeah,
right?
Gritty. You know what? You called me. I did say that they want to go. Yeah.
There you go.
You know what? Just go all the way. Go all the way like Baldur's Gate 3 did. Just put sex in this game.
What? Okay, that's a little bit too far. Okay, there are children who play this.
There shouldn't be. It's 17. It's 17 plus. This game's rated mature now.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah.
Guess I digress.
Change that rating from an M to an X. Just put full frontal. I'm not talking softcore, but you put hardcore in this game.
Come on.
Parry elements and sex. That's what we need.
No. Honestly, that sounds like a good title. Parry and sex.
So yeah, this footage is so old that this was before Moonveil got its final nerf. Now, Moonveil is still very powerful. I still won't use it because it's too powerful. But, as you can see, this is why, as powerful as it still is, it needed that nerf. And this is after, I think it was nerfed like twice, so this is just before the final nerf that it got. Moonveil is an absolutely ridiculous weapon, and the game would be better if it just did not exist. Even though it looks really, really cool. So another suggestion I have, this is actually both PvP and PvE. I should probably explain what those acronyms are. PvP is player versus player. That's, what you're seeing in almost all of my videos. Like right now, it's the real player versus real player. PvE is everything else. It stands for player versus environment. If you play this game offline, well, now you just have a 100% PvE game. So what I'd like to see in both PvE and PvP is, I think that there needs to be a designated block button. I think they need to get rid of shields. Because I really like blocking in this game. The game seems balanced around it. It adds a lot of... it may not be super interesting to watch, but to play, blocking is a really, really fun mechanic. And as are spells. I love that spells are like supplemented. So in the next game, I would love it if you basically were forced to use spells. Like you have to pick a class of spells, like... you do that now, but maybe even add another category. Make it like Pokemon. You're picking your starter. Red, you want the fire type, the water type, or the grass type. Make it so you have to pick a classification and spell, and then just have a dedicated block button. Not assigned to shields, just you can block at any time. I think having every character have access to both spells and blocking, and basically not having to pick between the two, will just make the game a lot more dynamic in both PvE and PvP.
Honestly, one thing I want is to be able to use those giant ass fucking arrow things. The ones that are from the environment that you can't really use but enemies use against you. I would love to be able to use one of those.
Honestly, I think that they probably were going to do that. It seems like they probably just didn't do that because they were cut for time. So for this clip, he didn't want to do the 3v1, and I know as an invader how stressful a 3v1 is, so I was just like, alright, fine, I'll fight you by myself then. I just let the host and the other phantom go ahead and just had a nice duel, but here he goes and ruins it by running away, which rubs me the wrong way a little bit. It's like, alright, I'm giving you the 1v1, and you're still not wanting to engage.
Coward.
Not just hosts. Reds can be cowards too. So Vike's Spear is the other weapon that I will never use. So there's 3 things I will never use in the game. It's Moonveil, yep, and that's honestly it was both the running away and the using Vikes. The fact that he had to switch to Vikes.
Point down.
Yeah, that's why you get the point down. If it was just the running away, I wouldn't have done it. But the running away plus Vikes, no.
Point down and teabag, baby.
You get that point. Yeah, that's why you get both. You get the combo. The point down into teabag true combo right there. So the 3 weapons I'd never use. Moonveil, too good. Vikes, the problem with it is when you dodge it, you still get that madness build-up. So actually, that's something I not only think they should fix in the next game, but they should patch it out of this game. Status effects should not build up if you do not get hit. I understand that bleed will be a lot less viable, and I do kind of like it for bleed. But with madness, it's just ridiculous. That is not something that should build up even if you don't get hit. But the other thing I will never use is double poke weapons. Like Moonveil, they did nerf that a bit. And people do use Moonveil and double poke weapons less often. So by double poke, I mean like, your 2 big thrusting weapons. It can be anything. Double Vikes is, a double whammy there. You're an absolute piece of shit if you use 2 Vikes. But yeah, these are just things that are not only... They're so good that they're just not fun to use or fight against. So I cut this clip a little short. You saw I started in the middle of it. I remember this, even though this was years ago. I've been dealing with these guys for a while, so I just kind of started in the middle. Another thing you should always have jar cannon or the whatever ballista this is called, the hand ballista I believe it's called. Really useful for invasions. Even if you don't have the stats to use it, they actually still do decent damage. Like, way more than you would think a weapon you don't meet the requirements for would do. And it's just good for situations like this. Luckily, I do meet the requirements, so it's, really good if you do meet it. You can do some extra damage, but you'd be shocked how much damage you can still get out of those things, the jar cannon or the hand ballista, even when you don't meet the requirements. And at the very least, it's also good to knock them off edges. So yeah, I would every build have it. I'm not saying you need to have it equipped because they're heavy as hell, but have it in your inventory at a moment's notice to be able to switch to it. And there's the plunge attack. Yeah. Nah, I knew that was coming. Like I said, I cut this clip short, so rest assured he deserved it. I don't quite remember why, but he deserved it. He deserved it.
That's it. Yeah. That's all you need to do.
Yeah, get you a wife that supports you. So another thing I would change is duping is a real big issue. I actually talked about this in the last video we did, what is cheating in PvP, I think it was called. And it's using items that are supposed to be finite, such as starlight shards, raw meat dumplings. These getting duped, like characters, they'll like save scum, they'll like drop them to their friend, they'll drop like the 15 or so you can get per playthrough to their friend, and then they'll redo their save so they get those 15 back, and now their friend has the 15. They essentially created 15 out of nowhere, and now that friend could add like his that he had and then do the same thing and drop now 30, and then quickly they can just drop 99 to each other. So that needs to be done away with completely.
How would you actually do that? Like, take it away from the game?
So the simplest solution would be to just not have items like that in the game, and frankly I think that's what they should do. But if you didn't want to do that, simply disabling them when you're in multiplayer would work. So if you for example, they could add this to Elden Ring right now. Well, of course they're not going to. I don't think they're going to add any more updates. But they could just make it, okay, Starlight Shards, if there's somebody in your world, whether it's a cooperator or an invader, Starlight Shards can't be used, and invaders just can't use them during invasions. So that would be a pretty simple solution.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not a technologically inclined, I don't know a lot of the little details and stuff, but I mean, if you wanted to get like really fancy with it, you could have like kind of a serial number to everything, similar to what they do with NFTs. No, not that I'm a fan of those, by the way. I'm just saying, just like the that similar technology. If every item had just like a serial number attached to it, that might be able to prevent some level of duping. I mean, it probably wouldn't eliminate it all, but considering this isn't like a super hyper competitive game, just having any kind of roadblock to where just somebody in cheat engine or somebody save scumming can't work around it, I think it would eliminate probably 95% of the problem. But like I said, I don't know technology, so maybe somebody who's into that kind of stuff, maybe like they're like, no, you idiot, that won't work for like a billion reasons. But
please, when you write it in the comments, start like that. No, you idiot.
No, you idiot.
And then tell us why.
That's not how things work. Yeah, it's like when somebody, that's probably the equivalent, honestly, of somebody just saying, oh, they should just print more money. Just print more money and everybody could be rich. I probably said the equivalent of that in the tech version of that. Like, no, you are ignorant to a lot of stuff. None of that works that way. But yeah, simply disabling it during multiplayer would be enough. I can't think of, like, it's nice if duping didn't exist, I could see the appeal of having things like Starlight Shard. It's like, okay, even though I get only 10 of these, 15 of these in a playthrough, I'm going to use it for you because you're really annoying me. So I see the appeal to that, but the amount of abuse it gets just isn't worth that small benefit. Alright, there's the build, which means it's time for us to go, and we are going to go to bed. Say goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.